In today's video of Bobcraft, we do a world tour while I'm practically half asleep, so I jumble up my words a tad bit. I have had my YouTube channel for a year now. I know, crazy to think. I've uploaded all of these 150 or whatever videos, and I've only got 75 subscribers. Shame. Anyway, that's not really the point. Basically, the second video after the Battle of Bobcraft I uploaded, on the same day I uploaded my first video, as a matter of fact, was Bobcraft World Tour Part 1. Basically, Bobcraft was a world so big I had to cut the world tour into two parts. And yeah, today we're doing another world tour. Now that it's been a year on Bobcraft since the last world tour, which is actually older, more time than the age Bobcraft was when I did the original world tour, which is on screen right now. So a lot has been built and done and changed on Bobcraft. So I am going to be touring everything. Well, not everything. I'm not going to be touring the things which haven't changed since the last world tour because there's not really any point in that. Just go and watch the last world tour if you want to watch that. Anyway, anything else I need to say? I didn't write a script for this. I'm saying this all on the spot, as you might be able to tell. Anyway, oh yeah, this is Horizontal Alley, by the way. I call it Horizontal Alley in this video, so that's sad. Anyway, right, should we get started? Good idea. Okay, there is one rather big thing I forgot to mention, and that's that, unlike the last year's World Tour, in this video we are doing world downloads of Bobcraft, which we'll have links to in the description. Anyway, originally there was only meant to be one download, but we're actually doing two downloads now, and let me show that off. The reasons why. Okay, that doesn't sound like it makes much sense. Oh dear, I'm awful at speaking today. Oh no, the sky, what's going on? Restart. First of all, this is the original download which me and Harry tried to create. Basically, because, you know, Bobcraft's so big in size, we had to cut down a few chunks, and there was only one app to do that with, which we are aware of. And in order to do that, we had to convert Bobcraft's copy to Java 1.20, 1.5, and then convert it back to Bedrock 1.20, 1.50, which broke a few things. Anyway, we managed to trim the chunks, but when we say it broke a few things, I think it broke quite a bit more than a few things. There are holes in the ocean, floating islands in the sky. No, I'm not talking about those holes over there. More like those holes more over that way. Corrupted chunks, floating islands in the sky. It just does not go together, but at least the main builds are still intact. So if you want to save up on space, this is the download to go with. It's a bit less than 500 megabytes, which is actually still quite a lot when I think about it. But if you do want to download the cheaper option, you will have to deal with this constant holes in the ocean. Basically, when we finished processing this, well, me and Harry saw that it worked, and we were like, oh, good, and we never actually left the spawn region until later that day when I found this rather big inconvenience. Still, the main thing, well, apart from all the corruptions, and also the doors are all incorrect, and also there are mobs which have despawned. Okay, and also the maps apparently look a tad bit corrupted. Oh dear, that definitely looks corrupted. So yeah, apart from all those inconveniences, still, all of the main builds are still here. Also the chests are all dearranged, and the doors corrupted a bit. And also all the mobs that were on Bobcraft originally, like Dave the dog, despawned. And you can literally see the corruptions from where the builds are. So actually, I definitely would not recommend downloading this world. It's awful. On to the next one. Now, the second world is 1 gigabyte in size, so if you're willing to download this world, then I would definitely recommend it over the other worlds. So you spawn, well, at spawn, and by the way, you don't spawn in creative mode with all these items. That's just how my account spawned in, because basically this world has not been converted to Java Edition, so everything's correct. All the doors and chests and coordinates and stuff are in the right place. Oh yeah, there's nothing in Dishwasher's chest, by the way. He didn't have time to put anything in there. In this world, no chunks have been trimmed because, well, Otherwise, we'd have to convert it to Java Edition. So there aren't any corruptions, and every single chunk ever loaded on Bobcraft comes with this world, which also means everything ever built on Bobcraft comes with this world. And there are just no corruptions in it, so I would definitely recommend it. Anyway, time to start the world tour. So here I am standing at the spot where we started off last year's world tour, except it does, well, admittedly look quite a bit different to last year's world tour. This is the shopping district, which I'm not going to showcase, because showcasing this would take up way too much time in the video. The shopping district really just deserves a whole world tour for itself at this point. Last video it was small enough to actually give an in-depth, detailed world tour of the shopping district, but just know that this is the shopping district. It's very big. We spend a lot of time here, and it's cool. Anyway, off we go. So recently we added a pathway leading out of the shopping district, which goes all the way over to the Temple of Bob, which Harry built the other month. I also have a well here, although this is technically part of the shopping district. I built it as something to do with the Bobcraft genie, but I kind of gave up on the idea. So now we just have a well in the shopping district, basically. And then up here are the park horses me and Dishwasher built back in the summer. So yeah, this is Dishwasher's, and that one over there is mine. We basically had a parkour building competition back when I wasn't uploading that many videos. But then, if we continue on this way, then this is Harry's Temple of Bob. So yeah, this is mainly where we use on Bobcraft to praise Bob. We're going to build more temples for Bob in the future. But at the moment, this is the main Temple of Bob. And we donate items to Bob, but actually we don't donate that many items to Bob. You know what? I'm gonna give Bob 3 diamonds. Look, I'm recording this early in the morning, okay? I might sound a bit tired. And this is just like the savannah biome, which spawned naturally way back in the day. Although it's changed a bit, because when this biome was first loaded in, we didn't get all of these brown sheep and warm animal variants. And we didn't get armadillos either, really. Anyway, then up here is Dishwasher's Castle, and he kind of closed down the front entrance, so we'll have to go in through the side. If you want to know what the front entrance looks like, he built it right on top of a corrupted cave, which is cool. Luckily, no one's messed with that water yet, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, this is the entrance to Dishwasher's Castle. He built it, like, way back, for the Bobcraft episode 45. Well, by that time it was finished. Basically, this was his base of operations during the war he had with the Steel Empire, which lasted for, like, an hour. So, yeah, over there's Dishwasher's Castle, and it hasn't been very long since last video, but Dishwasher is no longer in debt, and now he's decided to go and invade the Steel Empire. Here are the signs at the front: Dishwasher's Castle, Watcher Nation. There was a thing going back and forth where, like, the Steel Empire kept putting signs there without his knowledge, and were like, castle claimed by Steel Empire, and he didn't find out until months later. So yeah, this is the inside of Dishwasher's Castle. It's quite cobblestoney. If we go down here, we have a lovely cherry plank thing with copper bricks as stairs. This is the prison. I actually quite like this part, but it urges me so much just to wax it like that. See? You see, there's like barely a difference at all. He has a chest here for some reason with some junk in it. He has some signs on the inside saying about how the Steel Empire are banned. He has a chest here with some stuff. He has some furnaces. He didn't really live here for that long. It was quite temporary. And then up here is the top floor, which he hasn't really done much with. And then here, next to this lovely looking lake, we have the Steel Empire, which is a country founded by Bob. Also, back in the summer, quite a lot of the things built in these parts were built in the summer. Luckily, I am a member, so I am allowed to enter. So if I walk through these gates here, this is like the main entrance bit to the Steel Empire. It's still a work in progress. We still need to build more buildings. I built all of these things, by the way. I'm quite proud of myself. Well, they're not the best buildings, but still, I like it. So this is Al Bob's house, which I'm not sure I'm meant to enter, but I'm going to anyway. Here's chests full of stuff. Here's some dogs. He sleeps in the corner on the first floor. And then up here is his gaming room with his, netherite boots and all that. Oh yeah, and a piece of paper left over from the Great Bobcraft War. And this blue building here is where the Steel Empire keep their valuables. They have a bunch of books and other stuff. I clicked in the wrong chest there. This orange building here is honey and TNT storage. So the first floor is where they keep their honey, if I can find it, which I apparently can't. No. Ah, yes, they keep honey blocks in that chest barrel thing. And then up here is where they have their TNT, which admittedly they do not have much of. Then if we go over here, there are some more general things. Oh yeah, I really love this alleyway. It just feels so narrow. So yeah, we have this alleyway here in the Empire, which leads out to the public toilets, which is, believe it or not, where you go to the toilet. They go quite far down. Funded by Bob Keir and something like that. Anyway. This is Peasant Braden's house. This is my house in the Steel Empire. It's where I live. It's not much. Oh yeah, in the Steel Empire we have a rule where every member keeps a banner in their houses. And, yeah, if the Steel Empire ever gets in trouble, they have to save the banner before they save themselves. Yeah. So, this is, my dog, Lord. Well, it's the Baron's dog, really. You know, me and Baron, same different people. We were the same person, then he kind of developed into his own entity. And then in here is Matthew, my man's house, because he's a member of the Steel Empire, so he keeps a few of his stuff in here, including his master sword with 7-hole attack damage. This is where Matthew, my man, sleeps. He has a banner, of course, and he also has a furnace here. Now, this is the community mine. We are making a better mine, but this is like the original mine from before all the buildings were here. Oh, Harry tried to swim in lava. Yeah, he's online right now because he's annoying. Anyway, this is the cobblestone shop where I only sell 4 cobblestone. I should probably do more of this. And then here is the prison. I haven't actually added anything to the second floor, but don't walk in there because you'll be stuck in there, so yeah. Here is where we're going to build a road, but I haven't built anything yet. And this is the Baron's house, which clearly says on the door, ye old weaponry, because all the weapons and armor have been taken out of it and moved somewhere else. But the Baron still has his stuff here. Well, despite his armor being on very low health, which he should probably fix. And he also has some of his old diamond armor. Some of it has been robbed over time, probably by Dishwasher. He doesn't really like the Steel Empire, including his Ultra Sword, which he's very not happy about. And then over here are just the layouts for some buildings. We do keep like things in here, like chests. And here is where Steely the Panda lives, who's the Steel Empire's mascot, and has probably been living in there for way too long. We've got the Nether portal here, and just some more layouts for buildings along that way. Up here is the Steel Empire's tree farm. This is where they keep their trees. It's where they mine wood from because they plan on trading it away. They have a sheep farm here. This is like the farming quarter of the Steel Empire. This is the guillotine where we execute people occasionally. This is where the bees are kept. And they produce honey all quite quickly, so I'll probably need to go back to that farm and harvest some honey. And this is a throne which Al Bob made for himself one time. Well, that's kind of out in the open and he never uses it, so it's mine now. And this is the mining factory, which I only made 2 videos ago. I'm quite proud of it. It has a really cool logo on the front, as you can see. Notice any similarities? I know you can't see my raised eyebrows that well, but they're there. This is the inside. We just keep some barrels, some chests, some mine carts, and then up here are where the slightly more disturbing experiments go on. Let's just ignore that. Down here is where we're going to add the super smelter, but right now it's just a bunch of furnaces. Then there's this tiny building over here where the Steel Empire keep their storage. We have rooms for each individual person with the Baron, Matthew, my man, some people who haven't joined the Empire yet, and Emperor Albob right here, of course. Then over here we have a bridge, which for whatever reason still hasn't been decorated yet. It's just a bunch of birch planks. This is a temporary tree farm, which I should probably take down. This side of the river, which didn't always belong to the Empire, actually, this is the military section. This is where we usually train Harry. So we've got a building here, which the Baron started working on months ago. Never actually did the interior, probably should. There are a lot of unfinished things on Bobcraft right now, okay? And yeah, this is the armory. So if you go down the very long stairs, then this is where the Steel Empire keep all their armor and valuables and elytras and stuff. These were meant to be bubble elevators or something, but Albon gave up on them because he realised they didn't work. The rest so far is mainly just fields. We have a shooting area there. We have a weird gulag thing, or whatever it is over here, which Albob's building. I'm pretty sure he's planning on moving this to a concentration camp or something. And then over here, whenever members want to join the Empire, whenever players are interested, then they have to go through this trial, and to see whether they're worthy of building in the Empire or not, they have to build something good inside that square, and if it's not good enough, then they don't have building privileges, which, unfortunately, Harry wasn't good enough when he tried out in that square here. Moving on from the Empire, we need to cross this jungle biome over this way, and get to the Watcher Nation, which is on an island over this way. But before we get to the main Watcher Nation, this is like a tiny little tower they made one time, which, oh, Harry drowned. Until recently, I didn't even know it belongs to the Watcher Nation, admittedly. Then if we cross the ruined jungle over here, because in 2023 I used to spend a lot of my time mining grass in this place to, you know, put in my jungle cave over that way. And once you come over the horizon here, you will be greeted with the Watcher Nation. Now, we do have this, like, woods thing with a lantern here, because they are planning on expanding their borders off of the island and up to that point there. So all of this place here, this is going to be, like, Watcher Nation builds. But for now, okay, I do not know how that water got there. Should I pick it up? I did. Ah, there we go. Anyway, don't worry, I'm a member of this place as well, so I can enter. This is where he used to keep an armor. The Watcher Nation is quite run down right now, but I plan to change that. This is where he keeps all of his old stuff. Actually, Dishwasher hasn't really touched that stuff for months. It's mainly just rubbish by now. There are two doors here for some reason. I'm not sure how they got there. They have a bee farm here, producing lots of honey. They are. They also have a plan board here, which I can show because Albob's already seen, so pause the video if you want to read all this. Over here is my house, with a Watcher Nation flag on it. Well, it's not exactly the right colour. It's based off, you'll never guess which country it's based off in real life, the Union Jack. It's Britland. Anyway, yeah, this is my lovely jubbly house. I have a dog here, and I didn't remember I had a dog. I kind of forgot about the dog. And this is where I have some barrels with stuff inside them. Oh yeah, also with a balcony. And then up here is my bedroom, where I used to have some diamond armor, which I moved to the Watcher Nation's secret base, which I will tour with show coordinates turned off later in the video. They also have a tiny little beacon here. It was like full-on netherite originally. And then over here, this is where Dishwasher lives. He has a house with some stuff inside it. That is Dishwasher's cool Eye of Sauron, with some netherite blocks at the top of it in the eye, which I'm so tempted to take, but I'm not going to because it's the Watcher Nation. There are some houses here, as well as a list of members here. Wait, did I add myself back to the list? There was a bit of a predicament with the Watcher Nation the other day. Basically, they claimed my land and I'd left in protest. And then over here is the Watcher Nation's farming quarter, which I've trampled on quite a bit. This is where they farm stuff. Oh yeah, and over here is the chicken farm, where we've got quite a lot of chicken eggs. So, oh, I've picked up another one. It's, by the looks of it, a few chickens have somehow escaped and I've become trapped. Oh yeah, then over here is the outfits, where you have to apply for the Watcher Nation. It's a bit small. And then over here is the Watcher Nation side exit, where there's some leather here for some reason, don't mind if I do. And then, when you get all the way to the end of it, there is an illegal Steve head, which I think Dishwasher brought, or something. Hi, Steve. Also, I'm not going to head over there, but if you look over that way, you can see Bobbett's the Tower, which I did feature in last year's World Tour. It has not been worked on at all for over a year now, which is quite bad. It's basically a tower me and Matthew started working on last year. We were going to make like an empire before empires really existed on Bobcraft, but yeah, we kind of stopped working on it. I'm probably going to go back to it one day. Oh yeah, the Watcher Nation's a bit weird. For some reason there are cows floating in the ocean. Anyway, what we're going to do now is ride a boat back to spawn, pass a few places on the way. Oh yeah, there are also bees floating above the ocean for some reason. They've also managed to fly quite far out. Sometimes I look over the view from my starter base and I just see bees buzzing around and I'm like, how did they get there? Then over here we have my starter base, which I'm also not going to tour because I haven't worked on it for over a year now. If you look up there on that hill, you also see that's the layout for the castle, which I put there the other day. So yes, you will be able to see my castle like above my starter base, which I think is quite cool. Then sailing off in this direction, you will be starting, if you have good eyesight, or maybe you don't need good eyesight, I don't know. Right, you'll see spawn basically, which I'm about to tour. Yeah, this is spawn, which last time I showed off, it was literally just like pure jungle and this little hut here. But it's expanded quite a bit since then. I've done a lot of terraforming. I've made it all flat. So where should we show off first? Probably Dishwasher's base here, which he should probably take the obsidian off of by now. So yeah, this is Dishwasher's base. It's basically the house he moved into after he sold his motel. Well, he didn't sell it. He was going to sell it. This is where he sleeps, up in the attic. Then down here, this is kind of just a flooded room. I think this is where he's meant to look out over the ocean, but it's underwater, kind of. Well, not kind of. Very. A lot. And down here, this is like the main section of his base. This is his kind of like armor museum thing where he shows off how rich he is with all of his stands of netherite armor. Although one of them's gone missing, not sure who took that. This is his old sword, the Ultra Sword of the Dishes. He's even so flexy that he just has a wall here full of diamond blocks. And then if we go down here, this is a place I helped him dig out one time. Did I just say placed? Oh, I don't know. We still have a chest like in the middle of here full of materials, which we should probably get rid of, or he should. And this used to be his vault basically, but it's a bit ruined now. He used to have a beacon in here, but they don't work when there's a roof over them. Then, if you go past all of his shulker boxes he has here, this is Dishwasher's farm, which I do like to trample. Alright, I'm only going to trample that bit. Sorry, Dishwasher. Then down this corridor, he has the Holy Room of Bob, which is out of bounds because someone took 16 diamonds out of the chest, and we still don't know who to this day. This is where he goes AFK in, the AFK lobby. Wow, who would have guessed? Down here is where he used to have his mine, I think, but it appears to have been blocked off, apparently. Down here, if you go past the deep slate, this is his back rooms, which he probably had to bridge out of. Yeah, this is where Dishwasher built the back rooms. And basically, sometimes he pushes you in here for fun, and you have to get out, I guess. Oh yeah, and this has a sign on it saying theatre, so I guess he's planning on building a theatre here, but right now it's kind of just a big empty room. This is the outside of his base. It looks very lovely. Basically, he used to have a shop here, which is why he has some wood on the end of it saying the last memory from the resource shop. There was kind of an incident with 2 ender dragons and a bunch of breezes, and it got destroyed. It also led to that great big sinkhole being right at the centre of spawn. He also has a little cool bench with a cherry tree here. It looks very lovely. And then over here is the rule board I only made quite recently because, well, with Harry and Dishwasher being on the server, especially Harry, I kind of just need to make them aware of the rules because, well, they take quite a few things on Bobcraft. unhappily. Oh, this really is the video for me saying things which make no sense, isn't it? Wait, what? Oh, I'm getting confused at myself. Anyway, this is Dishwasher's holiday home, which he originally charged, like, what was it, 10 stacks of diamonds for entering or something. I'm probably... Actually, maybe not. He built it in Central Spawn, which is a place for very specific builds, so it might be demolished or something one day. I'm not sure if he'll really care that much, it's only tiny. Then over here, this is kind of a giant board I made, and this is a very slow project, so I'm basically trying to map out the entire, like, spawn region of Bobcraft, going 1,300 blocks out, well, in that direction anyway, and about 1,000 blocks out in that direction, or maybe a bit less. And over here is the post office, which the trapdoors are starting to oxidize, unfortunately. I haven't actually done the interior yet, quite naughty. I'm going to in the future. And don't worry, I do mean the close future. And then this is the courthouse, you know, with some emerald and diamond blocks added in there, just to, you know, show off how powerful they are. It's actually quite empty and dull on the inside. Basically, you just stand there and do a bunch of courty things. This is for players who break the rules too much. Then over here is the museum, which I should probably think about redecorating someday. I copied a picture of another Minecraft museum off the interweb. Interweb? Yeah, sure. But I probably should add some windows and some bushes as decoration outside. It just looks a bit dull right now. Anyway, I was originally not planning on touring the inside of this museum until it's finished, but I kind of only work in the museum once every few months. So here we've got the ages of Bobcraft in order. This is the counter where you sign in, or something like that. And then down here is the holodeck. It costs 20 diamonds to use, and unfortunately, you know, for whatever reason, we couldn't get it to work in the world download, so gee whiz, sorry about that. But yeah, basically, it takes you to all of the different ages of Bobcraft, and also does some other cool things. And yeah, we have some computers and technical stuff here, and it just takes you back to different ages of Bobcraft when you stand in that thing there. I'm not going to cover that too much in detail until I make that video about the museum being finished, but in here we have the page for the age of starting. Room for the age of starting. So I've got some things on display in here from way back in the day. And in here we've also got a room for the Age of Power, which is quite bigger, but I haven't gotten to building rooms for any of the other ages beyond 2023 yet. So that's quite bad, and I should probably hurry up with it. This is where, once the elections happen, so hopefully quite soon, me and Bob are going to build a great big town hall, and we've got chests to gather the materials in. And I think he's copying a very specific design off the internet. Bob's basically written all of the things needed to build this place down on boards. So it requires lots of materials. It's going to be absolutely massive. And then over here we've still got an area of spawn where the dirt, after all of these months, the grass still hasn't quite reached this corner of spawn yet. We just have a balcony beyond that looking out over the rest of Bobcraft with Cobble Road, which I'm not going to tour in this video. It goes like over 10,000 blocks out. You have a jungle and a lovely river right there, leading into more jungle. Anyway, up there, in that range of mountains over there, is where the Steel Shopping District is, and it doesn't have a nether portal yet, so I'm going to have to walk there. But before that, over here, up in the upper area of spawn, is a base I don't think I've ever showcased in any of my videos. Basically, there's a player on Bobcraft who has never been in my videos called Louis. He's only been on regularly, like, twice. Once way back when he joined in September, and another, like, a few months ago. Maybe, like, last month or something, I can't quite remember. He only joins very occasionally, and he has quite a small base, but I'm, you know, gonna show it off for the sake of it. Rooms. Ladder. Door. So, down here in this terraformed area, this is the Steel Shopping District, and not much has been done with it so far. I mean, we did the terraforming back in October, and Bob moved his villager Gulag over here, and I really do hope the villagers are still in here, which they are. That's good. It would be terrible if someone killed them. Anyway, we have removed the railway since last video. I did that yesterday. You can thank me for that. Down there is a place which did exist in the last world tour, but I never actually showcased it because I didn't think it was worthy enough to travel all the way out there. That's the first village ever discovered of Bobcraft, and I found it way back on the first day I created this world. And basically, well, it's quite in ruins. Not much has been done apart from a lot of them. The beds, the resources, and the villagers have been taken away from it. In fact, a few of them even ran all the way out into the wilderness, like that guy over there for some reason. I also started building like a great big tower of deep slate diamond ore up there. And basically the aim is to get it to build height, so whenever I find deep slate diamond ore, I mine it with silk touch and add it all to my tower there. It's going quite slowly, but I believe in myself that I will eventually reach build height one day. Okay, for some reason there's glowstone in the river here. Huh. Not sure how that got there. While we're sailing down this river to our next location, over here is a fun little thing I built way back in the day. March 2024 I built this. Basically, me and Matthew on Bobcraft, we used to cheat quite a bit. And when Bob joined, it was no exception. Basically, one time he was, mining in the river, and I decided to prank him by building a bedrock box to trap him in and drown him or something like that. Good fun. He absolutely loved it. Yeah, I kind of just kept some of the bedrock here. I mean, it has been clearly damaged a bit over time somehow, probably by me. And I'm not sure it's exactly over time. I mean, it's literal bedrock. But yeah, I'm gonna keep the bunker here just for, as a monument to the days. Over here, we have an area which is being entirely flattened out. I know there may not be a sign here, but this area does belong to the Steel Empire, and once it's all flat and ready to go, it is going to become their ginormous tree farm for them to sell wood and make money as a grand, I don't know, Steel Empire plan. It's slowly being flattened out. The chunks were loaded way back in 2023, but for some reason there's still the new bushes here. Anyway, now we're going to have to head into the Nether, because the places I want to go out now are spread very further apart. This is the Nether hub, which also hasn't really changed since last year's World Tour, so I'm not going to show this off. So the Easter District is over that way, and so is the Tardib, but I'm not going to show either of them off because, well, the Easter District I haven't really built anything in yet. We are going to next video, and the Tardib, as for that, well, it hasn't really been worked on like a lot of other things in the last year. This is a pathway which goes about 300 blocks out, which leads over to the Halloween District, which, by the way, is not featured. It is featured in, the bigger world thing, the 1 gigabyte world tour, but it's not featured in the smaller compressed world tour because Harry kind of briefly trimmed the chunks and didn't really look into them that much, and they accidentally cut off the Halloween District. So here's the portal, let's go through it. In here, once my chunks load well enough, this is the Halloween District of 2024. Basically, we have a thing in Bobcraft where we choose a different location for a new Halloween District every year. We like to mix and match. But this is the only Halloween District we have so far, because in 2023 things were quite different, seeing as it wasn't a realm. It is quite peaceful. I actually really like the look of this place, and it will look especially good when Vibrant Visuals come out. For some reason, we still have a sign here saying trick-or-treating is delayed until 22 o'clock. Not sure why I decided to keep that there, but it's still there now. So yeah, this is a fountain of lava I made, because, Halloween, yay. This is Harry's rubbish house, where he decided to trap us and stuff. We still have chests in here, a lot of which are full of resources, and you'll see that once I go over this lovely looking bridge here, which I'm proud of. I made it. And yeah, we still have a bunch of materials left over in here by Bob, who decided to build a house so big for Halloween that he never actually got to finish it, but he says he's going to demolish it and move it into the next Halloween district for this year's Halloween. And this right here is Dishwasher's house, which, well, doesn't exactly look Halloweeny, and also he stole literally all of the corpse blocks I have for, which I am quite annoyed about, admittedly. He trapped me and Albop in here in the Halloween video. It's Bobcraft episode 54. Go and watch that if you want to. So he has some traps in here. On the other side of this pond here, we have the pumpkin pathway leading up to my lovely, jubbly Halloween house, which well, I'm not going to give a tour of the inside because I'll get lost in it. But look, it looks good, doesn't it? See? And if you're wondering why I'll get lost in the inside, it looks a bit like this, really. So yeah, I'm not going to tour this place. Up this ladder here, we have the Nether Speedway, which is where I, get to ride a boat, and it leads to all kind of different nether portals, like the 1000 Overworld portal there. It's basically designed to get you really far out, Overworld-wise, really quickly. So far, the tunnel, not the ice pathway, that only ends after a few hundred blocks. The tunnel goes out all the way to the overworld equivalent of 100,000 blocks, and I've nether portals stopping there once every 10,000 blocks. So yeah, that's cool. Ah, I picked up a sword. Here we've got the Washer Nation secret base, which I've got show coordinates turned off for obvious reasons. But yeah, we have been working on it off camera since I last showed it off many months ago in a video. We keep our, netherite armor and stuff here, although I'm not sure really anything in these chests belongs to anyone. Oh, yep, that's my netherite armor, which I showed the display stand for earlier. Yeah, the Washer Nation's communist, so I'm not really sure anything here really belongs to anyone. Well, apart from, members of the Washer Nation, obviously. We have, these floating farms here, but we're not farming anything on them so far. We've also got an office building here, which is, well, an office, really. Ooh! I don't think I've ever been here so far. Not since the update happened, so I've never seen these, new types of cows here. Oh yeah, that's another thing about the deserts, isn't it? It's an old type of desert now. It's got, all of the old cactuses with, there's no, dead grass, none of those pink desert flowers, which I do not know the names of. And, oh yeah, over here, basically, I built a railway up there, which I'm going to show off in a minute, but I had to use water so much that it kind of glitched out this area down here, and it's, so for some reason I created all of this out of one water bucket, and it's not removing itself, and I don't think it's going to anytime soon. So yeah, in here, this is kind of like the central area, and this is how I get up there. I did add powered rails here, but I forgot to add the redstone torches, but still, you can get up here, as long as you don't let go of your controller. Anyway, let's look for anything I've missed, and I don't think there is much of the Watcher Nation I've missed, really. So yeah, this railway leads all the way to the top of the Watcher Nation, and you can get a really good view from here of, the deserts, the village, the actual Watcher Nation itself, and that mangrove swamp over there. And then it's especially fun when you come back down it, and then you can go like, whee! It does seem a bit scary because you're so high up, but it does stop every once in a while. And you can use it to get all the way back down here. How fun. Then if you go down this way through the Nether Hub, there aren't exactly many new portals, but if you go into the Nether Fortress over this way, yes, we have a Nether Hub connecting right into a Nether Fortress. This, if I just walk 900 blocks this direction, then I will end up at the Christmas district. here I am on the other side of the nether portal, which, now that I look at it, it never did get decorated, did it? This is the Christmas district so far, which, unlike the Halloween district, we're not going to move around, well, not after the 2023 one. This is the Christmas district we're going to return to every single Christmas, and we're going to keep expanding on it until it eventually becomes a massive Christmas city. But so far, we've got some buildings here. We've got Albob's gingerbread house. Wait, what? Does this place have a back garden? It does. Cool. We also have a sign here saying Christmas District. I know, how official. This is where the great big Christmas tree is. And this is where me, Harry, and Dishwasher gave each other presents over at Christmas. We also have some trees here, which I planted just to make it feel more Winter Wonderlandy. Another old shack. And this is Harry's very Christmassy house, as you can see, which is even worse than the house he made in the Halloween district, and the house Dishwasher made in the Halloween district. The house Dishwasher made is beautiful compared to this cobblestone monstrosity. Ah, look at that. Oh dear, I seem to be breaking a bit of snow with that water bucket. That's not very good, is it? Anyway, then... Oh, I haven't been on snow duty for a while, have I? That's not very good. Yeah, this is the hotel I made, which I'm quite proud of. Based off of the hotel from that horror movie, which I never actually saw, but Albob showed me a picture of it, and I based it off of that. So yeah, this is the Braden Hotel. We have some restaurants with, well, no stock. Literally, there is nothing in any of these chests. Yeah. So we have some kitchens, and then up here, this is where we have the rooms. This is the one where Dishwasher stayed in, room 3, apparently. Yeah, we just basically have a bunch of corridors with different rooms in them. There's nothing up in the attic. But I'm quite proud of this hotel I've made. So I'm going to stay proud of it. Yeah, good on me. Right, all the way over here. This is Dishwasher's lovely pink candy snow house. He gave a present to himself, which he apparently didn't take home with him. Here's a broken flower pot here, which I just placed back for him. You're welcome. And he also has, wow, one whole raw iron in that item frame. And he has no lighting because he can't afford electricity. So that's cool. And that is basically the entire Christmas district so far. Also, if you keep following this line of torches in the nether, then you will eventually end up at this nether portal here, which takes you to a mangrove swamp. This is actually one of the very first nether portals I generated on Bobcraft back in 2023. But if you follow the mangrove swamp, and hopefully I'm going the right way. Yes, this is also a place I've never showed off in any of my videos, and it's a bit of a mess right now and hasn't been worked on for months, but this is basically a mansion which Albob's building. I'm not sure if he is going to get back to it, but he started building it ages ago and he hasn't worked on it for ages, but he's building it, and he says he wants to live here, you know, in the swamp, far from any prey eyes. We're starting to run out of things to showcase in this world tour, but I've still got a few tricks up my sleeve, well, builds up my sleeve. Okay, I'm not going to showcase the stronghold or the end, because nothing's really been done with them. Well, apart from more end cities being busted than last year. This place here is what's going to become the Steel Empire's capital. I think it's called Frozolia, or whatever Albob named it. Last time I showed this place, we had choker coordinates turned off because it was a secret. But, oh, that's glitchy. Yeah, anyway, since then, Dishwasher has discovered this place. And we can't really keep it a secret anymore, seeing as literally the other countries discovered our country's capital. It also would have been a bad secret in the first place, because the 2023 Christmas district is right over there. Still, we're going to build here, and it is going to become the Steel Empire's capital, even though it is known about publicly. Now, if you follow this pathway over here, you will eventually end up 2,000 something blocks out in the nether, and you'll find a portal, and when you go through it, you'll find yourself in a swamp. But I'm not going to head to that swamp because it was very painful even to just get to this point in the first place. And if you follow the chunk trail from the swamp for another, let's say, who knows, 15 to 10,000 blocks, then you will eventually end up at a place which I'm going to show you next. It's very special to me, but since it's so far out, I'm going to show you in a creative mode copy of Bobcraft. A long time ago in Bobcraft, as in like nearly a year ago, there was a war. It was me and Albob versus Mafu. We named it the Great Bobcraft War because, well, it literally covered the entirety of Bobcraft. And if you've watched the videos, you may notice that mine and Albob's bunker was very, very far out, and I never actually covered how we even got that far out. Basically, at the time in Minecraft, it's been patched now, there used to be a glitch where you could stand in a nether portal and click on a bed, and it would take you to the same coordinates in the nether as you were before in the overworld. I mean, I covered a video on it a long time ago. It was actually my first YouTube video to get 100 views. That's what me and Albob did in Bobcraft. I rode the bed chain quite far out in my time, as in I literally rode it from my starter base, which is where it started off, all the way out into the millions. And this was the second stop, I believe. Basically, first of all, you'd have my starter base, then you'd click on it, and you'd end up in a jungle 4,000 blocks out. Then after that, you would end up here. So me and Albob ended up on this island, and we considered that it was far out enough to, build a very secure bunker, which Mafu would never be able to get to. So that's exactly what we did. So yeah, you may notice by the lack of grass that these are old chunks. And over here is a house which me and Albob made when we got here. Well, I mean, I made, and Albob made the weird wizard hat roof. Yeah, I never actually showed this off in the video, but yeah, this is where we slept for a while. And I also, had my own horse, Toad, right here, which Albob stole and rode away several times. So we had this pathway after we moved out of the house, which led down into the bunker, which is probably one of the favourite things which there is on Bobcraft. This is where me and Albob stays during the war. This was our base of operations. As you can see, we have an extremely old map of the shopping district right here. And by the way, on the real Bobcraft, still this bunker is like untouched. I have been back to it once since I left the Bobcraft war, and only once. Usually every other time I've been back to it, it's in a copy because of how far out it is. Anyway, basically, what you need to do to get in, you have to place a redstone torch here, and then that opens up the entrance. Glad to see the redstone still works. Then that leads into our tree farm, where we have, quite a few stacks of wood. It's basically like, I don't know, the old Steel Empire before the Steel Empire existed, so it's not the Steel Empire. There is nothing behind this painting, by the way. I'm not sure why I put that there. This is my living quarters, so yeah, this is the part of the bunker, where I slept. This is my bed. And this is, some of my old stuff. I took the valuables after the war ended. I took them home with me. And, I also have a bathroom here, which if I go down here, in case Mafu ever did somehow get out here, I have an emergency escape exit up there. We also have the enchanting room here, the nether portal here, which, goes 4,000 blocks out in the nether. And then down here, this is a very historic room. This is the actual armour and tools which me and Albob used during the war. You see Braden's armour and Albob's armour. Well, it's a different chest plate because it had cursed binding on it. And then in here is the lava farm, which we actually didn't finish until after the war had ended, because Albob kept on burning it down during the video. Albob, you're gonna burn down the entire stupid place again. Albob, do it. No, I'm getting cobblestone. This is the third time he's done this in the last 10 minutes.
It's all on fire now.
Oh my god.
I'm proud of myself.
I told you not to touch the lava farm.
I'm proud of myself. Ow!
Anyway, that's all the builds over the last year on Bobcraft covered, but there are still a few things I want to show you. This is the first trial chamber discovered in Bobcraft. This is the first pale garden discovered in Bobcraft. And this is the first spring to light forest discovered on Bobcraft. That's it for this year's tour of Bobcraft. There are probably a few things I missed, but I think I covered all the major things. The world downloads will be in the description, so whether you want to download a small version, well, 500 gigabytes, or if you want to download the full map for 1 gigabyte, then click on the links and hopefully they work. If they don't, well, whoops. And also subscribe if you want to see us actually play Bobcraft rather than just tour it. And in the meantime, thanks for watching this year's tour. Goodbye. Oh dear, I'm ascending. Help!